Recently, I made a video talking about how I would not build with a man for a variety of well thought out reasons, which I will link below. And I got a lot of comments of the guys being like, well, if he's rich, why would he want you? If a man is rich, why would he want a marriage? Why would he want to settle with a girl? And this is in regards to like a girl coming in after a man has achieved a certain level of success. And they're trying to say like, well, what value do you bring if you weren't building with him? And here's what I gotta say to that. First, let's start with this. A man who is rich already has resources. A man who is a provider already has resources. He's not looking for a woman to fulfill that part. He's not looking for a woman's resources himself. If you're asking from that point of view, financially, he doesn't need my finances. So now moving on to what I really think they're getting at. This is just their sneaky way of being like, well, what do you bring to the table? The question is, why would a rich man need a woman? I think a better question is, why does any man need a woman? Because we are wired for connection, for companionship. A rich man already has money, but what he's going to be looking for is peace, loyalty, companionship, feminine essence, stability in his home. And that aspect doesn't go away just because he has money. And if we're going to get into the science of it, data actually shows that high earning men actually are more likely to be married and have longer lasting marriages. Why is this the case? Because success doesn't make a man fear commitment. Successful men actually value legacy, stability, a family, and someone he trusts. Being rich doesn't erase his basic need for partnership. The only men who act like women are disposable are the emotionally immature, insecure ones. Rich men don't date women for their wallet. They date the women for things that money can't buy. And there's men that don't value this. There's men that don't value partnership. They don't value commitment. But that's who they were always going to be. But the data points to the fact that whether or not you understand it or believe it, successful rich men are actually more likely to want a partner.
Ladies, let me tell you something. Men do not appreciate forgiveness. You know what they appreciate? When you choose yourself, when you stand on business. In fact, the more you forgive, the less they respect you. So stand on business. Always choose yourself. Always.
I don't approach women anymore, not because I'm scared or I'm worried about it or whatever. It's because I don't give a fuck. Approaching women is a waste of time. You waste time, you waste money, and it's just not worth it. Why would you pick some fruits from freaking branches way up there when you can pick easy fruits from lower branches? So there's plenty of lower hanging fruit. We don't need to put in effort. We just don't care anymore. Plus, girls, you don't want us to approach you anyway, so suit yourself.
No woman is lending you their husband, honey.
Can we normalize you letting me borrow your husband, and not in that way, you freaking weirdos, but like in the way where you both come over and he helps, hang my TV and lift all the heavy things, and we drink wine at the same time, and I'll make you both dinner, and he can have a beer at the same time too. Like it's a win-win-win-win. But I need to borrow your husband.
Oh, honey, get a handyman. Pay for a handyman. Shell out the cash and go get yourself a handyman. Or here's another idea. Be more pleasant and land yourself an actual man that's going to do these things for you. Ooh, how about that? This window of like guys who would be friend zoned and just be waiting in the wings like little puppy dogs, waiting to like get a call from her to come on over and maybe hang something on the wall for her. Or maybe, make sure that this works or that works in her house. Just hoping and praying that in doing that for her, she's going to somehow reward you with like a date or a night or something. And then she in turn says, oh, thanks for doing all that for me. See you later. Bye. Right? The guys got tired. Guys are done being friend zoned. They're done being used and friend zoned, invited over to these I don't need a man brats houses, right? When they actually realize they do need a man and need something in their house fixed. And they're tired of going there and getting nothing out of it themselves. Why would a random guy come over and do all this stuff for you? For what, honey?
Just ask me what I want in a man. And I want like a man. Like I want like a manly man. Like I want someone that like doesn't get female things. Like I want like a man. Like I don't want you to be able to touch your toes. I don't want you to be able to understand how I got my hair straight or like what it took or if this is low or high effort. Like a man said to me, oh, I love your hair when you do that. Literally just blow dry it. Like they don't get it, but like I love that. Like I love when a man just doesn't get it. Like I'm going crazy, I'm psycho, whatever. And he's just like, oh, what should I do? Like he doesn't get it, so he's gonna ask and he's just gonna do it. Like, does that make sense? Or like, am I talking in circles here? Like, I just want a man to not understand a woman and like be so okay to learn and like baby steps and like do anything that I need him to do. Like if I say I'm gonna have a glass of wine with the girls, like that wine better be at my doorstep when the girls come. You know what I mean? Like if I want breakfast, like, have you ordered it yet? I told you 2 minutes that I want a breakfast. Like, do I want like a little bitch? I just love men that like worship me, you know? Like, is princess treatment dead? Like, if I call you at any hour of the day, like, I think that you are lucky. Like, be grateful that call landed on you, because what's the other things? It could land on somebody else's phone. You wouldn't want that, would you? No. So be grateful.
I think I see what you're trying to say, and it's still pretty stupid. Basically, what you're saying is I want a man, an alpha man, and an alpha man doesn't concern himself with the things that a woman does. So he's not going to know. He's just going to give me the money to do it. He's just so involved with being a man and what men do that he doesn't know. He just says, oh, hey, I like the color of your hair. Or, oh, hey, I like your nails. He's not able to tell me anything about what shape my nails are. If I have like an abstract blue or a different color blue, he just says blue and not Carolina blue or skyish Carolina greenish earthish blue with undertones of gray. He's not able to say that. But what you guys don't understand is that ChatGPT exists. YouTube videos exist. TikTok videos exist. So men can readily find this information. They can ask different AI assistants if they need to in order to get this information. Y'all don't seem to understand that. Y'all like to categorize a man as feminine just for him doing a Google search and being interested. Hey man, what is that? But men are interested in their women. And so they'll go and try to figure out what it is that the woman is wearing, whether it be perfume, whether it be earrings, whether it be how she does her hair, her nails, shoes, whatever it is. If a man is interested in you, he'll start trying to figure out what it is that you do so he can be of assistance to you. He will start trying to prove himself and go out of his way, make time for you to prove himself. Hey, here is what I bring to the table. Here's what I can do for you. Here's how I can provide and cater to you. And you say, okay, man, I like this type of treatment. I love it. And then y'all go on a date and he says, hey, I've done all this stuff for you. So what can you do for me? What do you bring to the table? Oh, how dare you ask me that? How dare I? After I just spent all of this time researching. Well, I did my makeup and my hair and I did this to come to the date. After I sat up here and researched, I sat up here and figured out what you liked, what you didn't like. And I brought you here based on the limited information that I knew about you. I called around and I asked friends. I did research to try to get you here and get you into something that you liked. So I did a lot of work too. Plus I'm paying for the date. Plus I drove here and I sent you a car as well. Right. So I did a lot. I know you'd like to say that you did a lot of stuff, but I did a lot of stuff as well. But back to my question, what is it that you bring to the table is what he's going to end up asking you. So you guys got to understand at some point in time, the men out here are looking specifically to see what it is that their woman likes. And he's still a man. That doesn't make him any less of a man because he knows these things. He's looking up these things to see what he likes, or see what you like, and then try to provide it for you. But at the end of it, you're going to need to tell him what he likes and give that to him.
Respect is the number one thing for men. And that if a woman disrespects a man, that exit visas are imminent, that's really the demise of the relationship. So I've talked before about disrespecting your partner, period. I think men and women, by the way, both don't
I feel like he's coming from a gender angle here. And it probably does matter more to men, but I do believe
it does matter more to men. I think that men have more, I don't want to say fragile egos because I don't mean it from a critical place. I think women have fragile egos in different ways. But I think that men are uniquely bad at absorbing criticism. You know, before the cameras rolled, we were talking about, you know, in the comments when people like roast things I say or the way I say things or mannerisms of me. And I said, oh, wow, we should like do a whole episode where we just like dive into those. And you're like, oh, would you be comfortable doing that? I was like, of course. Like, I don't take myself that seriously.
Some women realize that they are leaving a type of blueprint on social media when they post. And by what I mean is, I just watched a video about this woman giving her list of absolute no's to men, and she wouldn't date him if, like, one of the things was wearing Crocs. Like, what the fuck is wrong with Crocs, number one? But two, whatever. You have your list, that's fine, your list of standards, and they weren't even like standards. It was like, don't listen to Taylor Swift. Anyway, so I noticed there's a comment, and it says, a man's comment. He says, being 37 and having a list of standards is, you know, it was something, whatever. So I click on the comment because she did a video to that comment. And then in that video, she says, we're not dating because we want to stay single, and we have no problem finding you, blah, blah, blah. But you quite literally just made a video about how you have standards and you're in the dating scene at 37. And now you're saying you're staying single. So you're just out in these streets fucking with men's emotions, knowing damn well you don't want to be in a relationship and you're going to be staying single. Like, how is that fair to men? Absolutely zero accountability. You're literally making a video about how you have standards and then making another video about how you're not going to be dating anybody and you're going to be single. Like, do we just not have comprehension skills anymore? You're contradicting yourself. I cannot.
Have you noticed that the men that put women first usually end up in a hearse? That ain't no motherfucking coincidence. Working your finger down to the bone for some ungrateful, entitled woman that says that that's what you're supposed to do because you're a man. How does she even know what a man is? She wasn't raised by one. Her mama ran her daddy off. She can't keep one. All her baby daddies ain't shit. She's 30, 40 years old and still single out here. And she swears that she's a good woman. I said, I've never seen nothing good that just sits on the goddamn shelf. They say, well, what about men? If you're single, well, the thing is, we're the pickers. We pick the fruit. And if all the fruit look fucking rotten, why the fuck you think we're gonna eat from that? I think we'll choose just not to eat at fucking all. Or just eat bits and pieces and then throw the rest away. Do you understand what I'm saying?
Be honest, when did men stop pursuing and women start demanding fantasy? The dating conversation right now, I'm sorry for y'all, is cooked. A lot of men are moving like they're the prize. No pursuit, no initiative, no effort, just vibes and entitlement. And they fueled by podcast culture telling them that they smarter than women, that they better than women, and that women aren't worthy of high standards or high quality love. That is not masculinity. That is insecurity with a mic. And you sound dumb. Shut it up. Now, before anybody start to clapping, some of y'all women are doing the absolute most as well. I mean, I be watching some of these podcasts and y'all be disrespectful, mean. Y'all be calling it confidence, calling it standards, calling it, I don't need a man. And listen, I love independence, but hyper independence that leaves no space for a man to feel needed, valued, or respected, that's not partnership either, sis. Rent is high, food is high, stress is high, and everybody is tired. So when people ask, should men get Valentine's Day gifts? That's not even the real question. The real question is there mutual effort? Is anyone pursuing? Is anyone appreciating? Is anyone leaving room for balance instead of power struggles? Because keeping it real, gifts are not going to fix imbalance. And holidays don't create love that isn't already there. Sis, if he already showing you he don't love you, it's not going to be fixed with a gift or flowers or no chocolates. And if she don't respect you now, bro, she ain't going to respect you because you gave her some fancy dinner at some random steakhouse, okay? So I want to hear from y'all. Where do you think the middle ground is? And who's doing the most damage right now? Is it men, women, or the culture? Because from my point of view, it's all ghetto.
Gentlemen, men, all the men out there, please share with us what it is like to be a man in today's world? I've asked this question before on here, and I got a lot of really wonderful responses to really give insight. And if I'm going to do everything in my power to bridge this gap and remind people that men are needed, then we need to give insight into what it is like to be you. Because I feel like there is so much pressure on your shoulders. And I can't imagine being in a world where you feel like everyone doesn't need you and everyone doesn't like you. I can't imagine that. So I just want to get insight into what it is like to be a man in today's world. What do you wish the world knew? Because if you can share with me, then I will do everything in my power to get that message out there so that we can keep reminding the world that you are needed and you're so freaking important, that we need men. Wonderful, wonderful men who are amazing leaders, amazing fathers, amazing husbands, amazing just people in this society. There's so much that you do that are not a woman's God-given talents, and we need both. We need to honor and just remember that we're not a divide, that we need men and we need women, and we need to honor both of our strengths. Anyway, I'm rambling. Please write in the comments what it is like to be a man in today's society.
And some of these options people think they have on social media, they don't really have for real. Yeah, those men are giving you attention. That doesn't mean they're giving you respect. That does not mean they value you, nor do they want to keep you. And I think that a lot of people are forfeiting good situations because of potential in theory on the internet. If a man ever gets a drink thrown on him in his face by his girl and he stays, he's feminine. My man, that is it. I don't see anybody else. It doesn't matter how much money you have. It doesn't matter opportunities you have. It doesn't matter how much clout you have. If you are not my man, I don't give a damn. Go put a shirt on. Mind you, the shirt stuff for a man isn't as bad, but all the gray sweatpants stuff, and also I'm not even gonna look down to see it. So now you gonna feel stupid because you just put on gray sweats, did a little rubber tub so that I could see something I'm not interested in seeing. I only see my man.
This is the thing, ladies. It's all in about how you treat us. Do you listen? Can you hear me? Can we work this out? Can we talk? How you act around people? How you treat people? How do people receive you? Do you walk in the room and suck the air out of it, or are you a delight to be around?
So this man didn't even help me move, y'all. He did not help me move. He didn't help me move a piece of lint. And he over here calling me. And I'm like, dude, I'm not gonna talk to you until you have to pay something. He was like, well, I can help you get your car, do things with your car, because my girl, my car needs all type of maintenance or whatever. I was like, you gonna have to do something, because bitch, I'm not in the mood to talk to you. And honestly, I don't even trust anything you say, because you already stood me up. So I really don't understand why you calling me. I really don't understand why you calling me. I really don't. He was like, oh yeah, I went to jail for like 2 days. I'm thinking, bitch, I wish you was in jail for months. The fuck? You already lied to me, bitch. I'm sorry. When somebody crosses me, I don't give a fuck. I hope you go to jail for years. You know what I'm saying? Like, it don't matter to me.
I mean, he doesn't really owe you anything. I know you guys are trying to penalize men, and this is how you get yourself in trouble, by charging him a quote-unquote re-entry fee, charging him a fee to come back in your life. I think there was another woman that said, oh man, look at my butt. It's basically all this is Dominican right here. This is naturally homegrown Dominican. So if you want to get access to this, you got to pay me, I think, what she say, $75 to get off a block list. Blocked the man like a year or so ago. Started talking to him again on Hinge, forgot about him. And had to block him again. If you want to get off my unblocked list, you have to give me $75. Why would he need to come off of your unblocked list? You talked to the guy before, you didn't like him. Why would you unblock him? Because you're acting silly. You want the man to pay you money for whatever you think that you're worth. And then, I tell you what, these men that play these types of games are going to pay that re-entry fee. They're going to pay it. And then they're gonna drag you through the fire. They're gonna drag you through the fire. Oh yeah? You want me to pay $100 to get back in connection with you? You about to pay me that back. I'm gonna get my return on investment. One way or another, I'm gonna get it. Oh man, these men are so mad. So mad, they're so angry, they're so rough, they're so aggressive. One way or another, I'm gonna get my ROI.
I'm telling you, if men went back to being men, they would get the relationships that they desire.
No, they wouldn't. No, they wouldn't. And I'm not trying to be disrespectful. So I apologize in advance if this does come off disrespectful. I'm really not trying to be. I'm not. There is a certain subset of women out there that will forever hate men because of the experiences that they've gone through with men. Whether they got cheated on, lied to, whatever it is. They will always feel that way. Unless, of course, they go and get the help that they need in order to heal. Because that has happened to you, women, not you, original poster, that does not equate to you being in a position to say that all men are cheaters, all men are liars. It continues to divide us. This is where I'm going. This is why I stitched this. What women look for and what men look for is very subjective. It is according to what your values are and what you align with. So if you do want a manly man, whatever your definition of a manly man is, go find him. That's fine. That is totally fine. You want what you want. But to sit there and ridicule other men that don't align with what you want, I think that's messed up. Because there are women out there that would love a guy who takes pictures of the food, or at least if the girl loves to take pictures of her food, she loves a man that will support her in that. Or she loves a man that will support her in doing get ready with me, taking selfies together of their outfits because they're about to go out on a date or something like that. You know what I mean? So it's like, if that doesn't align with you, that's okay. That is totally fine. Go intentionally date and find the individual that you want. Nothing wrong with that. But to continue to divide us because of what men choose to do, I think that's messed up.
This morning while I was driving, I saw this guy riding a mini bike in the rain, in the cold, in the wind, and he was holding a bouquet of flowers and balloons. Do you know how hard it's got to be to ride a mini bike in the rain while also holding a bouquet and balloons? So I think with Valentine's Day tomorrow, I just wanted to remind all of you to never settle. If they wanted to, they would. Yeah.
I mean, it might just have been the guy's a delivery guy. He's trying to make some money, so he's taking all of that stuff to whoever ordered it. That might be it. And another thing is, it's funny to me that you guys also talk about this type of effort, and if he wanted to, he would, and y'all don't be doing it. Y'all talk about wanting this type of effort and don't be giving it out. That's the problem.
Spent too much money on this girl to let her go that easy. Yeah.
When you look as good as I do, you don't care what other people say. I look good as okay? I look good as hell, and I don't care what none of y'all say, because guess what? I bet y'all ugly, and I bet y'all when y'all take y'all wigs off, y'all makeup, and y'all eyelashes off, I bet you ain't gonna get on here and post no video. You gonna wait till your hair done, you gonna wait till your nails done, you gonna wait till your edges fixed, you gonna wait till you brush your teeth. I ain't done that, and I still look good.
I hate to have to put a price tag on it, but no shade. If how y'all be saying we gonna get cheated on either way, and this is just my opinion, I just wholeheartedly feel like if I'm gonna get cheated on either way it go, how y'all be saying, I would rather get cheated on by a provider, like a dude that's buying cars, a dude that's gonna put me in a house. I don't ever have to pay for nothing. My money is my money. Because I feel like the fact that y'all really think somebody should have to be out here splitting bills with y'all, that's already another conversation. But the fact that you think you're gonna be cheating on me and we stay together and I gotta give up half.
Well, I mean, this is where women sell themselves short. Why do you accept cheating, period? It shouldn't be an acceptable thing from any man, period. Whether he can buy you a car and pay bills, you still selling yourself short. You're still out here putting yourself in a position to be treated recklessly. Women allow men to do these types of things because if women set the standards and didn't allow the things that y'all allow, these men wouldn't be able to do it. And this is where women are losing because you don't realize the power that you have, thinking that you have power in this promiscuity, and it's not. And going out and thinking that giving a man your body and thinking that you're so great at it that he's going to commit to you or do something more when he's not. So allowing a man, whether he has money or not, whether he's spending money on you or not, to just run through you because he could pay your bills, is still you selling yourself short. Women are the ones who have to set the standards. And as long as you have women out here who are willing to open their legs and bust it open for any man, with money or without any money, this is why men continue to do it, because you don't set the standards. You don't require them to commit to you. You don't require marriage. You don't require a stable relationship to have with a man so that he can be with you. You're giving it all up as soon as you can, because in the name of you wanting it and you're feeling empowered to do it. And so this is why men move the way they move.
Stop doing the most for women who don't deserve shit. Seriously, some of you guys are in relationships with the most controlling, batshit crazy ass women, and you just like, okay, well, what can I do to make you happy? Like, okay, like, let's get a house together. And you dig yourself deeper into this fucking hole. Yesterday, I had a call with a man who said he was thinking of moving to China, because he couldn't deal with the guilt of breaking up with her because she's fucking psychotic. They've been together for 6 years, and she threatens to burn his family's house down if things don't go her way. That's just like tip of the iceberg. And I'm like, why did you let things go on for this long? Like, that's insane. That shows your own lack of self-respect and your own lack of ability to have hard conversations and make the right decisions. And if you can't do that, your life will always be a constant marathon of running away. Imagine if he moves to China and that's the worst decision he could have made for his life. Like, maybe he died in China. I don't know what happens in China, but you're making that decision from avoidance, from running away, not from pursuit of a goal, from pursuing your passion. You're making this decision so that she doesn't have to deal with the consequences of her actions. Because he's like, oh, well, I feel bad. I provide for her financially. She doesn't have a job. And I'm like, well, maybe she should have fucking thought of that before she threatened to burn your family's house down. She needs to assume the consequences of the things she says and does. That's how people learn. And you're robbing her of that learning opportunity because you don't want to deal with the guilt of wondering, like, okay, what is she doing? Like, is she figuring it out? Like, am I a horrible monster? That is your discomfort that you are avoiding. And so you're making the decision that is worse for everyone involved because of your fear. And this will be your entire life. And if you have kids, it will be your kids' life unless you learn how to hold tension in your body. If you can't stay steady when you're experiencing like that uncomfortableness that comes from, oh shit, now I have to say something. What will that lead in your life? Seriously, like, how long can you live like that?
Being the first dude to treat a woman right really is the worst dating candidate event because it exposes that being a provider is the dumbest thing you can do as a man. I was hit with the cliche, you make me feel small, I have to choose my own happiness, which unfortunately breeds this intrusive red pill thought that there's no point in being the good guy.
There isn't, because women don't like good guys. They like powerful men.
She always told me I was the most emotionally supportive person in her life. So I proactively asked her for evaluation and feedback of my behavior as a partner. She never complained. 99% of disputes we ever had was because of her immaturity that I forgave. How is it possible that somebody can carry a relationship supporting you emotionally, financially, and sexually for 3+ years, and now you have to choose yourself?
Because you told her to. Through your words and your actions. You literally told her to.
You can do everything right as a man and still lose. And how do you move forward knowing that?
All right, that's enough. That right there is the conclusion that every person in the red pill ends up coming to. And not only is it dismissive and lazy, but it's just straight up incorrect. Literally everything he did that he referred to as the right thing was the wrong thing to do. He said that he asked her for feedback on his behavior in the relationship. What he should have said is that he asked her to tell him what to do. He fell for the trap of thinking that he was being a good partner, an emotional safe space for her. But in reality, all he did was volunteer himself to be an emotional tampon and her bitch. There's nothing more pathetic or spineless to a woman than a man who needs her for his guidance and cues. On top of all of that, he forgave her for all her transgressions without making her pay a price for them.
99% of disputes we ever had was because of her immaturity that I forgave. I paid for bills, I paid for dates, paid for vacations. For her birthday, I got her a Telfar bag and a Pandora bracelet with multiple charms. For my birthday, she got me a handwritten letter because she was broke. And I was cool with that.
There were no boundaries, no expectations, no teachable moments, no consequences. He made himself her doormat, and I'm supposed to be surprised that he got walked all over it? That's what's supposed to happen. But honestly, it's not even his fault. I can't blame him. That's the psyop right there. That's the gynocentric social order. Without even realizing it, he's been indoctrinated into thinking that what it takes to be a good man in a relationship is to be a woman's slave. So he doesn't get to say he did everything right and still failed. What he should have done is be a leader and not allow his woman's emotions to be the focal point of the entire relationship. It's been Jake's favorite scientist. With all that information, what must be done? Motherfucker talking about he did everything right. He didn't do shit right.
And I left him a comment basically saying, I think this brother did the right thing. I think he did the right thing. He just ran into a woman that was immature, is what happened. He did what he was supposed to be doing, but she was immature, emotionally and mentally. She was immature. She essentially fumbled him. He was giving her space to talk about things, and she didn't catch the hint. Maybe I ought to clean up my attitude. He's doing all of these things for me. Maybe I ought to stop acting a fool. She didn't catch the hint. I do agree that you should start setting boundaries and not let people walk all over you. But there will be a woman for him that understands what he's doing and respects what he's doing and said, hey, thank you for giving me space, by the way. And she'll give him or cater to him because he gave her that space. I'm just looking for a man to understand me. I'm looking for a man to consider my feelings. And he say, yeah, man, I can do that. No problem. Okay, great. Right. So for you, next time you can, because you've gone through the situation, you can start to formulate questions to ask a certain person. You ain't got to be mean about it. You ain't got to, do it like you're doing like an intense interview or interrogation. But now you have the sort of the expertise to say, okay, this is the line of thinking that I'm trying to see if she has. I'm trying to figure out exactly how her mind works and if it's a match for me. And you start asking those questions based off of your experiences. And then also you want to talk to some of the fellas about it. You want to talk to maybe your parents if you have parents about it, so you can get a full perspective. If you have people in your life that you really, really trust and they're not on some bitter type stuff, you ask them, hey, what about the situation, or what would you do in this situation, and kind of get an understanding of what they would do, and then take into consideration how you are and why you feel the way you do, or why they feel the way they do about a certain situation. And the next time you run into a woman like that, you can say, okay, I've got some experience. I've got some people that I've talked to, right? And then even when you're asking her those questions and she gives you answers, you can go back to those people and say, hey, so-and-so said something like this. Does that make any sense? I kind of didn't understand that, right? You don't want to tell all your business, but you just running it by other people and getting a second opinion, a third opinion. You don't got to do that the whole relationship, but you're just trying to make sure that you're directionally correct, so you won't want to run into people like this again. That's wasting your time, your energy, your money, and your resources.
If she does any of these behaviors, you need to clip it immediately. If she enjoys going to the club more than being at home, you need to clip it immediately. She is for the streets. Number 2, if she has and brags about celebrity crush, clip it. She's an adult. You should not have a crush on a grown-ass man that is not your man. You need to clip it. Number 3, if she does not say thank you often for the small shit that you do, you need to let it go. All right? Because you're not obligated to take her to dinner, but you chose to do so, and she should be thankful every time you take her to dinner. And if she's not, she's clipped. Number 4, if for any reason in the beginning stages of you guys dating or talking, and she is asking you for money for hair, nails, any of those things, you have to clip it, my boy. Whether you got the money or not is a different story, but she should not feel comfortable asking you for money. All right, clip it. Number 5, if this young lady does not have any sort of fitness, Pilates, gym routine, you shouldn't even have her around, because if she can't take care of herself or doesn't have the desire to take care of herself, there's no way she's going to be there to take care of you. All right. Number 6, if she smokes any type of cigarettes or is addicted to any type of hookah, you got to let it go, my boy. Because what are we doing? You're a lady. Ladies are not addicted to nicotine. Number 7, if she is not innately nurturing or wants to be there to support you, you need to clip it. All right. Now, a good way to gauge, right, if she's innately nurturing is if you hear her say something like, if you don't do this for me, I'm not doing this for you. You got to clip it, because there's nothing a woman can do or not do that makes me jeopardize my duties as a man. And so if your femininity is only predicated upon my actions, it's not innate, I don't want it, you gotta let it go. She doesn't want to do it for you, bro. She never will. Number 8, some might think that this is dramatic, over the top. Quite frankly, I don't give a shit. If that lady does not, in 3 months, get in that kitchen for you and make you any type of food, if she cannot get up and make you a smoothie, you gotta clip it. I love waking up to smoothies, especially after all of these dates and chivalrous shit I'm doing. The least she can do is make you a smoothie in the morning, my bro. And if she can't, you gotta clip it.
And I like the fact that you said these are normal, everyday stories. This is normal. This is what men do on a regular basis. Period. But modern women will having you believe, oh, men don't help out. They don't do this. They don't do that. Maybe they're not helping you out because you have a bad attitude. Maybe they're not helping you out because your whole aura, your whole energy stinks. It sucks. You have an RBF. Maybe that's why they don't want to be bothered with you. A lot of these modern women think that they can get away with having an attitude, walking around with their headphones on and somebody just going to chase them down. Hey, you want me to break my back trying to get that piece of furniture up the stairs? Man, that man going to look at you like, oh man, them stairs, woo. Does she not have anybody that she called? Man, why is her dad? Well, if you was asking, if you come over here asking if my dad was coming to help, why didn't you stop and help? That's the reason why right there. That's the reason why I didn't help. Period. Y'all got to learn to get a control of your attitude.
We do not want the responsibility of life. Again, we live in this fantasy of what we think life should be. And we want a life that is carefree, that we don't have responsibilities, that we can go lay on the beach somewhere and go shopping and spend all the money we want to spend and do what we want to do. I had a student once a few years ago who just totally uprooted her life and turned it upside down and decided she was going to go do van life. And that she wanted that carefree life where she could just do whatever she wanted. She was miserable. The women that I have worked with who have a carefree life, in quotations, and have all, had a trust fund or their parents made portfolios for them at a young age. And so they don't have to worry about money, or they married into wealth and money, and they don't have to work, and they don't have to make something of themselves in any kind of way, are the most unhappy women that I have worked with. They are the most insecure. They are the most lost. And they will tell you that. They will tell you the carefree, no responsibility life is a prison. It's an illusion of freedom, but there is no freedom in it. We have freedom. It's really counterintuitive to us. We find freedom when we actually have structure and responsibility in our lives, because it teaches us to be accountable, to learn to have integrity and follow through with our word and keep our commitments, which is what creates the internal experience of feeling good about yourself. And it helps you to understand that there is actually a you, but again, that you is not somewhere out here. It's you. And it's really not the path of the carefree, do what you want when you want to do it, and not wanting someone or something else to tell you what to do is not freedom and is not where you are going to find yourself. When you skirt the responsibilities of life and you want an easy life, you get a hard life. But when you do the hard things in life, meaning stepping up to your responsibilities, following through with the obligations and commitments that you have made, when you do the hard things in life, you actually get an easy life. It's when we have our blinders on, and this is what I had to learn for myself. I was queen of I want to do what I want to do when I want to do it. And it created so many problems. I created so many problems in my life and delayed my own maturing and growing into an adult woman by living in fantasy land of not wanting the responsibilities of my life and doing what I want when I wanted to do it. I was hurtful to my husband. I was hurtful to other people. I created a massive amount of debt, and I felt like a little girl in a woman's body because I was being a little girl in a woman's body. I had no sense of responsibility. And what happens from that place, and what I experienced, and we all know this, is that we have our blinders up. When we want a life free of responsibility and we want an easy life to do what we want when we want, we go through life like this and we ignore and avoid the responsibilities that we have and just think they're somehow going to get handled and taken care of somewhere else. And we are miserable on the inside. Go ask anyone who hasn't had to work for anything one day of their life. Go ask them how happy they are. They're miserable because they do not have their hands on the wheel of their life. And that's what we do as women. And life is still happening out here when we have those blinders up and we're not taking care of it. And even if someone's trying to step up to the plate to take care of it for us, we do not feel good about ourselves and we feel trapped by our own life and we get very, very stuck in victim.
Well, you can go back to, stuff like Richie Rich, right? Stuff like Blank Check, both movies, but good examples of, the life that a lot of people think that they want. Now, don't get me wrong. It's nice to have money to, go out and get the things that you want. Not necessarily Birkin bags or like Louis Vuitton bags, stuff like that, and nice cars, but more so, if there's a trend or something like that, hey man, there's a trending drink, I want to go to Starbucks and get it. Or man, there's this viral burger or this new restaurant that just opened up across town, I want to go try it. Everybody's talking about it, right? And you obviously need money to go do those things. That's cool. But a man will take you to do those things. What y'all want is no responsibility. What y'all want is not being accountable to somebody. Y'all just, like she said, want to just hang out. You don't want to do a whole bunch of anything. You just want to kind of relax all day. But what people continue to try to tell you is you need to be responsible for something. You need to actually be doing something. That's why we come all the way back to the question, what is it that you bring to the table? Well, you're a rich man. You shouldn't need this. You shouldn't need that. And I just believe it doesn't matter what you believe. What do you bring to the table that's going to enhance this relationship?
I just watched a beautiful video of a woman whose husband had a stroke and he lost his memory. And I commend her. It's a beautiful thing how patient she was explaining who he is and who she is, and they have kids and this is their house. And I truly admire her strength. And I have had women over the years of my life who have been loving caregivers to their husbands when they have fallen ill. One of my mutuals lost her husband a couple months ago and she posted the journey and she was by his side every step of the way. I mean, the patience and the love and care of a saint. And that's what makes her amazing. I'm not taking away from anybody who is a caregiver. I think if you have the patience for that, you are an amazing person. As for me, when I saw the video of the woman taking care of her husband, I took a second and I'm, oh, this is, so beautiful. She's so patient with him. And then my other thought was, I'm not doing that. I can't do it for anyone. There's only 2 people that I will be caregivers for if something happens, and those are my 2 children. But other than that, I don't have the energy, the mental bandwidth, or the patience to be a caregiver for a man. If you don't have a financial plan in place to get nurses and doctors and the 24-hour care that you will need, do not look to me to be your plan. I never want to be any man's everything. I never want to be the glue that holds his life together. He better have, if he does not have a financial plan, which I don't see myself being with anybody who doesn't, if he doesn't have a plan in place to take care of himself, he will have to have a next of kin. This might make me a horrible person to some people, but it's one of the reasons I never want to live with a man ever. And the man could be above average. And I'm not a caregiver. I'm just not. Seeing the toll it takes on the people who are caregivers, I see them giving up their entire lives to care for their partners. And I don't have that gene in me. I think because I spent so many years of my life dating men who required that I gave them everything and centered them, I think now that I have grown past that, I don't have a desire to ever do it again. And like I said, the only people that I can see myself being a caregiver for is my children. There's a situation where everybody was pawning off a family member for me to take care of. They were pawning them off on me. Slowly, I started to notice paperwork for things were getting mailed for me, and I'm getting instructions to do this, and I'm expected to leave my job at the drop of a hat to see to them. And I blocked everyone. I am not your average oldest daughter. I have beat the odds. Don't come to me, for I'm not your plan. It's been a lot of years of my life giving it to other people that unless you are my children, you're not getting it. You can be a part of my life, but you're not the whole thing. Don't want to beg a man to see a doctor. I don't want to beg a man to take his vitamins and to take his medication. And you really shouldn't eat like that. If you don't care about yourself and you want to die, then do it. If you have no desire to take care of yourself, and I'm not saying that that's what was wrong with those men by any means. I'm talking about me. But I'm not going to chase you around with healthy foods and shaking your pill bottle to make sure you remember to take. I'm not keeping track of how many times you've seen the doctor and it's time for you to go. I'm not making appointments for you. I am 100% without a doubt useless to a man. I don't care how great he is. I don't. But I am not. It's probably why I really just don't. I honestly, at the very bottom of my heart, I really don't think I'm ever going to get married. You know, because I can't do the sickness and in health. And we already know the odds of men living out the sickness part when it comes to the woman being the one who's sick. Yeah, you got to be healthy. Or you have to have a plan on having somebody take care of you. I can see myself caregiving somebody and just getting frustrated. Like there's so much I want to do, but I can't do it, and getting mad and getting the hell out of there. I'm claustrophobic when it comes to so many things concerning relationships. So there you go.
So the issue here is, I know you probably think that you sound mature, but honestly, this is what we get, right? When we listen to this type of foolishness for old age, for wisdom, this is the type of stupidity that we get. Honestly and truly. Well, we know the statistics on men and how they feel about in sickness and in health. Yeah, and we know the statistics on how women feel about for better or for worse, for richer, for poor. We know the statistics on that. Do we? Exactly. 70% of the time it's going to be the woman that's filing for divorce. Woman, young lady, just recently actually, 24 years old, had, what was it, 2 surgeries or something like that? Man literally had to wipe her behind. And she was still sitting. It'd be one thing if she was asking the girls in her community, but she went to a show that she knew had the potential, a great potential, a high chance, I'd probably say a 99% chance of ending up online, and ask that question? Stupid. Oh, I don't know about being with my boyfriend. He did this for me when I was recovering from my surgery, and now that I'm just getting back to myself, I feel like it's boring with him. I feel like he's going through a rough patch right now, and I don't know if this relationship is for me anymore. What do you suggest I do? Stop talking. Stop acting stupid. That's what I suggest that you do. You sound ignorant. I don't know if you know that, but yeah, you sound ignorant.